I'm gonna record this. I'm doing it through my headset. Obviously, I'm not facing the highway. The topic I want to talk about now that is this was mentioned to me when I first started driving. Not even driving. 12 years ago, when I went through truck driving school, I went through advanced truck driving school in Fontana, California. It was a crash course, 2 weeks long, literally 5 days the first week, 5 days the second week. And within, I had a CDL within 10 days of going through the class, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I hadn't even hooked up the trailer. I had not fueled the truck. I had not ever gone out. I was literally, I had no idea what I was doing. But the point is, there was a person who was doing a refresher. When you haven't driven a truck in a while, but you have driven before, they have you do a refresher course and go through truck driving school again. And this truck driver said that you have to understand that truck driving, over the road, OTR, truck driving is not just an 8 to 5 job. It's not just a job or an occupation or a career. You aren't just learning the things you need to do to be a truck driver. It is a lifestyle. And it's kind of like a subculture. I don't know the exact number. You might want to Google and find out, but I've tried to figure out how many truck drivers there are that make keep the freight moving throughout the country. But I thought it was something like 3 million, 3.5 million truck drivers over the road in the United States. I don't know if that's the exact number, but the point is there's literally, whatever the number is, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million people just like myself who are out here doing this every day, day in, day out, that we don't often talk amongst ourselves. But if I had a conversation with somebody, and it's when I go to the night terminals and I listen to the conversations, or I have a brief conversation with other drivers, we kind of all know and understand what it's like being out here. So it's a lifestyle that it's not for everyone. I've tried to get, just with night transportation with my company, we can have a guest rider on our truck and have someone that rides on the truck. And we have to register them with the company for insurance purposes and stuff. But I've had only one person on my truck, and with the whole time I've been with Knight, which is going on 9 years. My friend Cheryl rode with me for 2 full weeks. I give her credit. She went, rode with me in the passenger seat, slept in there's 2 bunks in my truck. These trucks are all designed where you can team if you want to. And she rode with me for 2 solid weeks, took showers at the truck stops, used the public restrooms, went to the terminals, just shadowed me the whole time and went out with me. I give her credit for that. Where there's a lot of people that within maybe a few hours or a day, they would say, I can't do this, it's too boring or whatever. So it's a lifestyle. It's something that's not for everyone. I don't know exact percentage of people that can do this, but I know I was a trainer for about 6 months, and I had students literally that I trained that they went out with me and they literally got off the truck out in the middle of the Midwest. We were right in the middle of a load, and I woke up in the morning and they were loading their stuff onto a car, a relative of a member that was there in that particular town, and they said they can't do this anymore, they have to go home. And they literally just quit because they already knew within a week or 2 weeks or whatever that this is not something that they can do. And most of the time it's because they have a wife or kids or family at home. But I imagine even some single people that are single and don't have a wife or kids at home, they don't realize that you don't have a regular life. A regular job, you go to a fixed location typically, and you work a set amount of hours, and you come home at night. So even though it's not a long time at home. Come home, you can watch some TV or whatever, go online, have some dinner, hang out at the house, go out with friends. You can plan things for after work. And then typically, whether you work Monday through Friday or other schedule, you have a couple of days off typically that you can do things and plan things. You can have a life outside of work, where when you're an over-the-road truck driver, even though we have quote-unquote technically 10 hours off every day legally, and I can watch TV. I have an iPad where I have YouTube TV. I can watch some TV in the evening, and I can go grab some dinner, and I can go online. I can do many of the things that I do at home when I'm home on my home time. And I can do that during my 10-hour break. But the point is, I'm alone, away from home, and I'm confined to this box. And I can stand up and walk around, but it is like being a land pilot or a land astronaut, or maybe something similar to people in the Navy that are on a submarine that are used to working in close quarters and sharing. They have a bunk, and they have showers they share, and bathrooms they have to share, and they have individual responsibilities, but they're in a small space. Or even a large aircraft carrier with several thousand people. It's not for everyone. I'm not sharing this small space with somebody. I have it to myself. It's one of the reasons I like doing solo. I did teams for 3 years where I did the same exact thing, but while my partner was driving, I was sleeping in the back, taking my 10-hour break in the back, except I was literally sleeping while the truck was moving. So I would go to bed one place and wake up 500 miles away, never knowing exactly where I was going to wake up the next morning, whatever. I did that for 3.5 years. So it's not for everyone. The flip side of it, just wrap up with this, is what's funny is I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I love doing this as much as I think this isn't for everyone. And a lot of people would not even get to square one or even last a week or two. I think when I went through truck driving school, they said something like 90% of the people that go through truck driving school either get fired, quit, or fail. There's such a high turnover. That's why the trucking companies are constantly recruiting. The company I work for, CRST, before Knight Transportation, I think they had often 25 or 30 people every week that were going through the class, brand new students every single week, week in and week out. So that's like 100 people every single month, because they had to have drivers. You can have the freight, you can have the trucks, you can have the equipment, you can have the whole infrastructure and everything that's related to over-the-road truck driving and logistics, but you have to have drivers that are driving the freight from point A to point B. So it's a constant turnover. And I don't know what the exact number is, but there's a high turnover. So the bottom line, the fact that I've done this for 12 years, and I've driven about 1 million miles. I've driven about 700,000 miles with Knight Transportation, approximately 300,000 with my first company. Is a testament that, obviously I've overcome the odds. So anyway, I don't know how you can hear this. I just wanted to share those thoughts. I'm at mile marker 154, which means I think I'm about 154 miles from the Utah-Wyoming border. I'm about 183 miles from my next transition, 237 miles from my consignee. I'm gonna drive directly to the store, Lowe's store, and it says I can park there overnight and just scope it out. And if I can park there overnight, I'm just going to park there, not at the terminal. So I wake up and I'm right at the consignee. That's my plan. If it's parking is bad, or it's too busy, or it's too congested, it's not going to work. I'm just going to drive over to drive over to our terminal and then go there first thing in the morning. So that's kind of my plan. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I intend I'll be going into Salt Lake right about rush hour. So that's what's going on. Thankfully, it looks like it should be clear sailing all the way to Salt Lake. So I'm going to turn this off. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Just like signing off somewhere in the middle of Wyoming, about 150